How to hit high notes or how to sing high notes. This has to be one of the most misunderstood, elusive concepts in all of singing. And let me explain this. First of all, the proof is in the singing. Hey! Right? I can sing high notes. Now, someone else that comes on, another vocal coach, they tell you, here's how you sing high notes, and yet they never really do it themselves. They don't show themselves singing any high notes in a song, and they display no students doing it. If they can't do it, they can't teach you how to do it. And I don't know why people would even go to someone that can't physically demonstrate to them this concept or any concept for singing that they want to learn if the coach themselves cannot replicate it. Let me explain this whole concept to you so you understand. Now, I want to first off start by saying I studied bel canto, which is opera, most all of my life. And I've sung many arias and I've done a lot of things in bel canto that I use Appoggio bel canto as the tenet or the basic foundation of what it is that I teach. Now, I have a singing course. It's called How to Sing Better Than Anyone Else. You can find it right here at KenTamplinVocalAcademy.com, where I also have a free singing forum over there of over 25,000 singers, all getting really good at this stuff. And there's no excuse for you not to bip on over there and start getting good at it too, okay? And the internet is filled with misinformation, bad information, crazy information, but the proof is in the singing. Look and see if that vocal coach sings and sings well, a style that you want to sound like, and if they display student singing. It's the only way you'll know that that information is legit and correct. Now, how to hit these high notes. So why I say this is the most misunderstood and elusive thing in most all of vocal technique is I was told, that's why I started out with talking about bel canto, I was told that my highest note as a baritone, which is what I am, is this note right here. That note right there was my highest note. So I relegated myself to that for years, thinking that's all I get. I get that note. On a really good, yeah! On a good note, I get the G sharp, but the F sharp 4 was my highest note. And I was told by many bel canto coaches, don't go beyond that, you're gonna hurt yourself. Well, I started researching this a lot. Believe it or not, one of the major inspirations for this was early on I started studying about the castrati, and you guys may or may not, you won't be needing this anymore. What they did to those poor boys in the 1800s, they supposedly stopped in the 1900s. And they would, you know, give them the snip because their hormones wouldn't change and their voices wouldn't drop the octave and all this stuff. And so they, for the most part, sang in the alto and soprano ranges. But I thought, well, that's kind of weird because you should be able to maintain that over time. But then I was told I was crazy, and so I left it at that until I really started beating this stuff up. So here I am, relegated to this note, and I was in this band at the time where all of the stuff was like Steve Perry, Mickey Thomas, you know, Boston, all these really high singers, and I wasn't given the gig because I couldn't sing that high. So I set on a mission and on a course, and over the last 35 years, I've definitely come to conclusions about that mission that you absolutely can. Now let me give you a quick demonstration of this. Right? That's a quick 3 octaves, which I'm not even working at that much to get. But so I found out that that was absolutely false. I could sing in these different ranges, and there's a lot of misunderstanding about how to get to a high note. Now, one of the major things, you've heard me say this before, but it's worth repeating, is you go to a karaoke bar and someone's singing, you know, Celine Dion's The Power of Love, and the power of love, and they blow chunks on that note. And I've said this a few times, guys, hang in there, I'm gonna repeat it one more time because I'm grandpa and it's my right. But they don't do, you know, I'm your lady, you are my man. Whenever you reach for me, I'll do all that I can. We're heading for something, right? That head is the same thing as power of love. It's the same note. Now, they rarely eat it or blow chunks on we're ready for something, but they almost always eat it or blow chunks on the last note of Power of Love. This is true for the national anthem too. You know, rockets red glare, you know, land of the free. It's the same note, but they rarely blow it on Rockets Red Glare. They almost always blow it on, you know, Land of the Free, okay? So there's a psychological aspect to this, but there's also a physiological aspect to this too. Let me explain. The first thing is if we over sing the bottom or sing low notes, the bottom, too loudly, too heavy, it locks down your vocal folds and it locks down the larynx, I should say, and it inhibits your ability to have the freedom to relax, to go to get the note. Now, I've said this before, I'm going to say it again. It wasn't until I gave myself permission to hit the note that I was able to hit the note. I want to give you one quick example. I've given this example before, but it's worth giving this example again. If you've noticed in all of athletics, records keep getting broken over and over again, right? I mean, all of a sudden, Usain Bolt is the fastest guy in the world, and then someone beats his record. But when Usain Bolt came out, no one ever thought anyone could possibly beat his record. This is true with Tiger Woods in golf. This is true in pretty much any discipline like that. So I was coaching this, I think it was 8 and 9-year-old soccer kids. One is my son. It was an AYSO goal team. We're doing tryouts. And there was a standard size football goalpost. So the soccer box is underneath it and the goalposts are above it. And then, got this standard size soccer box. They're about the same size. And so these kids were so cute and they're trying to kick the ball into the field goal, but none of them can do it. Really, none of them, including my son, which was kind of strange. And so I walk over and I put my foot under the ball and I chip it and I just slam it right through these goalposts. And they're like, whoa. Well, guess what? Of the 21 or 22 kids that were there, every single one of them was able to do it except one after they saw me do it. After they gave themselves permission to be able to see themselves to do it. I'm not trying to get all metaphysical and weird on you guys. Trust me. I'm just talking about the psychology of singing. It's really important because you want to know how to hit the high note. Well, the other thing is too, so I'm not going to be terrified of the high note. Why? Because I've learned, and again, my singing course, KenTamplinVocalAcademy.com, I walk you through this extensively how to do this. I've learned that it's about correct support, a relaxation response in the chest, so I'm not tightening up the chest, the neck, I'm not tightening up the neck, and the throat. And I'm not getting all bound up to give it all. I'm not looking up either because that cuts off the trachea and your wind supply. So people think, yeah, you look up and that's how you get these notes. No, absolutely not. I give myself permission to get the note, okay? Now you're probably saying, okay, Ken, I've heard you've talked a lot. How do I actually do this? Glad you asked. Let's do this together. I want to do some sliders, or sirens as they're called now, whatever the flavor of them are. They're always changing names on things. I want to start with guys and girls, and I want you to do something that you probably hadn't thought of before. We're going to just do some simple sliders on an ah vowel. So we're going to start here, and we're going to do them in octaves. La. And I want you to go ahead and roll into falsetto. Don't feel like you're la. Don't pull chest into the sound. Just roll into falsetto. Ladies, you do this up the octave. La la. So you do this up the octave with us, okay? Here we go. La. La. Guys and gals, you should still be in chest in your call register. La, la. Now everybody should start feeling a little tension mounting in the throat. If you're just really in chest voice, like, okay, I could start to feel like I'm approaching, maybe not the top of my range, but I'm getting somewhere in that vicinity, okay? La. You're probably right now saying, okay, I think that's probably the top of my range. Maybe I get a couple more notes. In my case, right? I can get to that F sharp like I was told that's all I got. Okay, now stop. Stop everything. Don't sing the bottom so heavy. Even if you have a break, you can hear the register break. I want you to roll into falsetto for a minute. Hang in there. You're going to say, well, Ken, that's not really, I want to belt and get a belted chest sound. I know, I'm going to get to that. Hold on. I want you to roll into head voice with me. for you altos out there, you're probably kind of at the top of your range, but I'll get back to you in a second. Sopranos, you stay with us up the octave. Now notice I'm not going, I'm not killing you with sound. I'm being very judicious and very subtle on how much volume I'm using so I can get through my passaggio break without hearing the break. Okay, now even if you hear the break, that's okay. We're going to talk about the passaggio. We're going to get to that a little bit on another video, but I'm going to go through this now. Stay with me. This is the tenor high C. And for you ladies at the octave, it's the soprano high C at the C6. That's a C5 for guys. Okay, now that, for guys, it's an E5. Ladies, that's an E6, okay? Now, if you noticed, I went all the way up here with all muscling through and pulling my chest voice through this sound and getting all this crazy and just, you know, and killing you with sound, okay? Because we start here. This is where we start. We start by giving ourselves permission to feel what it's supposed to feel like when I do hit that high note, how I'm supposed to hit that high note without strain, without stress, even, yeah! Even if I'm gonna lean into a sound and hit it really hard and sing a higher note, that note itself, yeah! With no distortion, so that's both, right? That note should feel open, relaxed, and free in the throat. And it should be, yay! Pinched and squeezed to go up and grab the note. Now, what happens? This is what happens. The body starts to have this cascading effect of tension. It kind of starts in the legs and it goes in the stomach and you're thinking, oh my gosh, here comes the note, here comes the note. Oh no, am I gonna get to the note? And we blow chunks and we don't get to the note. But what if I told you, I feel like one of those memes on Facebook, what if I told you? What if I told you though, it's not about the high note at all. It's about strength in the abdomen, the engine that drives your car to sustain the note, the relaxation response in the chest, the neck, and the throat, and correct vowel placement. Then if you go, hey, yeah, you know, or anything in between, whatever it is, right? What if I told you that getting to that note was about kind of in your mind singing the note, knowing what vowel it's supposed to be, and we've talked about vowel mods, we've talked about vocal tract shaping. I've given you all these videos and I cover all of this thoroughly in my singing course, but that note was about, oh, that's what the vowel is supposed to sound like. This is the space I'm supposed to have in my throat, and I just give myself permission to hit that note. Now, yes, there's a training process. Yes, I've got to build stamina up to that note. Yes, I've got to remember not to oversing the bottom. Yes, I've got to remember not to pull too much chest through the passaggio and the sound. But here's what we do. First, we strengthen the foundation of our voice, which is our chest voice, to buttress or build a foundation to hold up the walls that we want to put up, the different vowels, the different notes, etc., as we ascend and descend scales and passages and songs, etc. But that this building of the chest voice starts first, okay? We start building the chest voice first. Don't worry about your high notes yet. Let's build the foundation, strong foundation. Then we build our head voice, big, robust, powerful head voice, to match the tonal qualities of our chest voice. So they're going to be, right? The same sound. And the only thing at that point that's left is negotiating the passaggio, the register break. That yellow, and getting through that passaggio to give us one long, powerful note. The final thing then is taking that passaggio and making it nice and strong so we can sing percentages of our chest voice and our head voice, what is called mixed voice or mixing that sound. So we can pull chest through that sound a little bit, then hand it off to head. We can bring in head voice a little earlier if we're looking for more of an R&B sound. We're not looking to shout at people, sing too loudly, and we don't want to sing too loudly. We covered this in our vowel modifications video. We want to pare the sound down and make it smaller so we're not over singing or singing too loudly and just shouting at people. We want it to be beautiful. Anyway, gang, this is how you hit high notes. Definitely stick around and check out my next video. I'm gonna sing for